share a bit about Lanka Agri Hub. Lanka Agri Hub is a venture capital firm that manages a family of funds focused on early stage investing with initial checks ranging from 100 million Sri Lankan rupees to 6 billion Sri Lankan rupees. Founded in 2021, Lanka recognizes promising companies worldwide and their diverse founders. They have invested in startups in over 4 provinces and have ranked as the top 5 recently founded lead investors globally. Their main goal is for mass production from selective vegetable and fruit cultivation, target export and byproduct for the country's food crisis. Crop production is a challenging business due to the constant exposure to unfavorable weather conditions. To address this, Lanka has developed farm management practices that involve farming in a controlled environment, such as greenhouse farming. They are committed to helping their portfolio companies with their operating experiences and networks, often taking on board responsibilities. As we stand on the threshold of this groundbreaking venture, we are reminded of the profound impact that agriculture has on our nation's prosperity. Let us also recognize the individuals behind Lanka Agri Hub. Please recognize the Managing Director and Chairman, Dr. Imtiaz Karyappa, Director and Operating Officer, MC Devendra, Director and Human Resources Manager, Mr. Zaruk A. Wahab, Environmentalist, Mr. Donald Geet Navagamua, who is not presently here with us today, Procurement Manager and Director, Mr. Mohammed Nazir, Finance Advisor and Director, Mr. Mohammed Hias, Legal Officer, Mr. Yusuf Nazar, Chief Agronomist, Mr. Buddhika Upashanta, our presenter and consultant for today, Mr. Ashfa Karyappa, and Project Coordinator, Mrs. Kumudini Veerasinghe. Let's give them a round of applause.
පමණ විට අපි පුත්තලමට දෙන රෙකමන්ඩේෂන් එක ඒ කියන්නේ නිර්දේශය සමහර වෙලාවට ගාල්ල මාතරට හරියන්නේ නැති වෙයි. ඇඹිලි පිටියට හරියන්නේ නැති වෙයි. ඒ අපි ෆර්ටිලයිසර් රෙකමන්ඩ් කරනකොට බලන්න ඕන කාරණා ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. පස්සේ pH අගය ඊළඟට සොයිල් එක මොනවද? ඒ වගේ කාරණා ගොඩක්. ඊට පස්සේ වගාවේ වයස ඒ වගේ කාරණා ගොඩක් බලලා තමයි රෙකමන්ඩේෂන් එකක් දෙන්නේ. මොකද මේක අපි අර සාම්ප්‍රදායික විදියට වගා කරලා ඒකෙන් සාමාන්‍ය අස්වැන්නක් අරගෙන නැතුව ඔබතුමාලටත් ඒ කියන්නේ වගා කරන ගොවි මහත්තයරත් බෙනිෆිට් එක එන්න සහ අපේ සමාගමටත් බෙනිෆිට් එක එන විදියට තමයි අපි ප්ලෑන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකෙදි අපේ ඔයාලා හැම වෙලේම ඔයාලගේ ෆීල්ඩ් එක අපි ඇග්‍රිකල්චර් හදාරපු කෙනෙක් සහ ඒ වගා පිළිබඳ මනා දැනුමක් තියෙන කෙනෙක් හැම වෙලේම මොනිටර් කරනවා. එතකොට එයාගේ රෙකමන්ඩේෂන් එක අනුව වගාවට අවශ්‍ය පෝර ටික ඒ වෙලාවට අපි නිර්දේශ කරනවා. ඒක මොකද ඒකයි අපි ඔයාලට මාසෙකට 80000ක් දෙන්නේ අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා අපි කියන විදිහට ඒ වැඩේ කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි අපි 80000 දෙන්නේ. ඔයාලගේ ලිවින් එක්ස්පෙන්සස් එකක් වියදමක් විදිහට තමයි අපි ඒක දෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට අපි කියන විදිහට තමයි වගාව පවත්වාගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට අවශ්‍ය සියලුම දැනුම අවශ්‍ය සියලුම අනිත් අවශ්‍ය පෝර ඒ ටික අපි දෙනවා.
Yeah, as part of the technology implementation, I believe the most of the investors or the stakeholders who are willing to participate in, who would first primarily the concern is on their head is that like, what is the ROI for my input, right? So based on that, how do you like, for example, just to get rid of any doubts in the mind of whoever the stakeholders or whoever willing to take part in, how the Internet of Things or the technologies that are going to be in place, which is going to be helpful. For example, if I'm in Colombo, out of Sri Lanka, or whichever the land I'm living in, I just need to get the things monitored, right? So I could be out of Sri Lanka for a while, but I need to get the things monitored, especially like let's say the plot of acre is my land. My investment is on that. I am more concerned only on that primarily. So for that, what is the security, or like in other words the guarantee that I am happy that I am able to monitor my own plot of land, whichever the part where I am. So how could you guarantee that the technologies which are going to be in place, so that is like I'm pretty happy with it. That's
So the
my
question will be thrown through our speaker.
yeah.
So this is how it works. Initially, there will be manual data ingestion where the user will have to enter the data manually for the initial phase. Then later on, we have also planned to implement the farm beat offered by Microsoft. So these data then there won't be any human involvement of entering data. Based on the data, what the sensors sense is what's going to be on the cloud there. And additionally, there will be tracking and tracing mechanism implemented. Additionally, we are also focusing on implementing a tool called the ERP tool. So each users will be given a login accounts for them to have a proper dashboard to see their forecast and how much they have analyzed and what will be their ROI. So ROI will again depend on the process of how you all have signed agreements with the Crop Lanka. But on our side, the data will be as the data has been sensed by the sensors or the IoT devices. And additionally, there was a concern on the irrigation team of the water concern, where we are also planning to implement drones. As I told you, 850 acres is not a small plot of land, it's a very huge land. So there will be places where it won't be reachable. So for those concepts, we will be having, or we will be planning to use drones on those fields. Thank you.
Ashfaq.
So we close. Another question coming back to that. So you said that you're looking forward if you're going to implement an ERP or you're going to host this whole thing on Microsoft Azure, like you were saying. Now that is an additional cost, right? So suppose I am investing, 1.6 million rupees or 60,000 rupees. Who will be bearing this cost of this Azure or whatever? Just for my future reference, will that cost be bared by you all, or is there something else that has to come from my side? Because then again, implementing an ERP is going to be, it's not a small project. It's going to have to host it somewhere, and there is a lot more that has to be done on the back end for the Azure charges and the ERP charges and the annual charges and someone to maintain all of that. So how is that sort of going to be based out? Does it have to come from my side or your side?
Yeah, more than the investors, it is also important for the company to know what is happening now. So the investment will be on the company's side. And additionally, as I told you, we will give you the default features on the system. If you all have any customized concerns, then we will have to implement it and put it under your. The main purpose why we came up with Microsoft Azure is that they have 3 pricing strategies. Pay-as-you-go mode, reserved instance. Pay-as-you-go is based on the data being ingested, you pay for it, right? The other is the reserved instance, where you reserve a particular space on cloud and have the data being
Annual cost.
Yes, annual cost. Or you can break that annual into monthly payments and reserve it. And ERP is a separate tool, cloud is a separate tool. It's a hosting, and that's a concept of understanding the strategy of how the digital farming works. So here, initial phase will be, data will be entered manually, and later on this will be digitalized.
Client or investor. So that is the company's responsibility to take care of how we maintain it. So as a client or as an investor, you don't want to worry about that. Definitely it goes to the company's end. Yes, exactly.
There are a lot of technical questions raised in the finance area, in the ERP, in the long-term goals. And our panel is quite well versed with their idea and their project, so they're happy to answer any of the further questions that you may have. There are definitely concerns that may arise when you throw your investment into something brand new, but trust that they will answer your questions and give you wholehearted views as to what your concerns may be.
Now one point I would like to add for the panel discussion as kind of a summarized point. Now you raised, you have a expertise knowledge in the agricultural industry. Now in Sri Lanka, what we have difficult problem when it comes to small and medium scale farmers, definitely there's no any buyers to purchase their harvest. But in Crops Lanka, the uniqueness or the speciality is we have 100% guarantee of purchasing it because we have a back end of production of 100% assurance production with 100% assured income. So that's the uniqueness, or that's the speciality in this project. And another marketing perspective, this is not kind of a general thing as other companies do, because this is going to cater to kind of a niche market, right? And this is agriculture industry into the pharmaceutical industry, one kind of a new product from Sri Lanka. And another point that you can make trust or credibility towards Crop Lanka is this is huge product diversification. Not just we are not going to slowly depend on one particular product. We have main product and we have byproduct as well. So that's the uniqueness, that is the speciality that you can, keep trust over through on this project and Crops Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your insight. Are there any other thoughts that the panelists would like to share with the audience? Any other perspectives?
Yeah, I believe that is one of the main concern for the investors or the stakeholders. To get the trust over, because whoever jumps into a project, they look forward a successful existing portfolio. I believe someone raised it. For example, if you are implementing a product or whichever the business, whoever checks, even if it's a team market or whichever the market you are going to jump into, everyone wants to see a successful successful in.
And as I told you very beginning, we have one main product and byproduct, which is product diversification. Definitely, it is kind of a new concept of Sri Lanka because we are catering to export market.
Thank you, ma'am.
සමහර විට දැන් ආවස්ට් එක වැඩි වෙනකොට දැන් අපි 800ක් වවනවා දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තියෙන ගානයි දැන් අපි 800කට වවනවා තව ඔක්කොම වවන්න පටන් ගත්තාම ප්‍රයිස් එක සමහර විට අඩු වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා නේචර්. නමුත් අපේ කම්පැනි එකෙන් අපි නියමන කරන ප්‍රයිස් එකට අපි ගන්නවා. ඒක ඇෂුරන්ස් එක. වැඩි වුණොත් ඒ වැඩි ප්‍රමාණය ඒ මාකට් එක ප්‍රමාණයට අපි ඉන්ක්‍රීස් කරලා අපි ගන්නවා. සමහර විට දැන් ආවස්ට් එමෙතනම මේක ඕන දෙයක් ප්‍රොඩියුස් වෙනකොට ප්‍රයිස් ඉකොනොමිකල් ප්‍රයිස් එක අඩු වෙයි කොහොමද. ඒත් බය වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ ෆාමර්ස්ලා. අපි කියන ඇග්‍රීමන්ට් එකේ තියෙන ප්‍රයිස් එකට අපි ගන්නවා.